right, guys, this is Crazy Kevin here, and I'm here with Clayre Savage. Clayre, how we doing?
I'm doing good.
All right, Clayre, talk to us a little bit about why we're having you on here, and tell the fans a little bit about yourself here.
I'm making my amateur debut. It's been a long time coming. I had a couple injuries from a car accident that kept me out for a long time. So I'm just really excited to get out there and put kind of all my hard work of years of dedication and kind of put that on display a little bit.
Now, you're mentioning this is your amateur debut. Now, what are you kind of doing in your training camp to kind of get prepared for your fight here?
We've been in a camp for about like 6 or 8 weeks now. For me, I have a bunch of guys on our team that fight regularly. So I've been through fight camp with them every time pretty much. So this time I got to be a part of like with my own focus and actually know I have an opponent. So which that's been interesting because I've coached guys through that because I'm a strength and conditioning coach and I do their weight cuts. But to be as focused as I am, it's pretty cool because with kickboxing tournaments and jiu-jitsu, it's just not the same feeling. So it's been an interesting experience.
100%. And you mentioned you do a little bit of like helping the fighters with weight cutting and all that stuff. What is maybe something you do to kind of help the fighters get on weight and get on track?
Well, actually, I'm a strength and conditioning coach for most of the pros in our area. And so we have a whole protocol list for weight cuts, rehydrations, everything down to a T. Like, what are you doing when you wake up? What are you doing when you go to sleep? And we keep pretty in detailed notes each time so we can keep making their process better. And so some guys like Drake, I think we've been through 4 or 5 fights by now. And so at this point, we're getting a better idea of like how does your cut need to look to make you feel the best by the end of it. And so that part is just really fun.
Now, would you say like maybe nutrition and just like kind of, staying on track with your diet is maybe one of the most important things when it comes to fighting?
Yeah, it's hard to answer that because, that's so general. That can mean so many things to so many people. It's kind of like I tell people the word fasting can mean so many things. And so in the same way, the word dieting and eating right can mean so many things. It looks so different for everyone. So I tell people, don't take advice from people that don't know you, don't know your history. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. And, going from there now, you also own a gym. I believe it's Ignite Fitness. With that being said, how did you kind of get your gym opened up and how has the experience been owning a gym?
So the interesting part is I was a coach at an Anytime Fitness and the guy was super homophobic, super sexist, and he is a gay man. So that didn't make much sense to me. But I was kind of talking about it to Coach Tim. I've been with Tim since 2019. And he was like, bro, just come start something in this corner right here and just kind of train some of your people. And I didn't expect anything of it. And then before you knew it, it was like I'm in college full-time, training full-time. And now I have like 30 people in a dark corner with one squat rack and some dumbbells. And then opportunity showed up. Me and a friend partnered up. And now we have a full facility full of incredible people.
Nice. Now, you mentioned Drake Pellegrin is one of the athletes that you've kind of worked with. What are some of the other athletes that you might have worked with as well?
Well, Drake now is actually also a coach. So he also coaches for us as well. And he also does strength and conditioning coaching as well. He has grown a lot with his time with me, but also I've worked with AJ Fletcher before he moved to Colorado, Rylan Melanson, a bunch of guys. Oh, man, now they're going to be mad at me. I forgot. Carly Judice trains with us as well. She's one of my females. Only ever got to coach one other female fighter. Then I got Damon Vincent. He's a hell of a pro. Who else? They're gonna be so mad. I got Abe Sellers out from Youngsville. Coached a bunch of guys online. Some guys from out another gym locally. Vance Shaw. He's another killer. You will hear of him one day. Just like all of my other guys. They're all incredible. I don't waste my time. So anyone that I train, they're doing something worth it, worth being around. So yeah, I think there's some other guys, but I'm going to feel bad if I forgot them.
It's all good. It's all good. Hopefully it comes to you later. But, with you being a strength and conditioning coach, when you're in the gym, when you're training and stuff, what is maybe, I guess, the best methods to kind of go about your strength and conditioning and also kind of like recovery afterwards when you're training?
So you're talking about in regards to like, what's the best method of strength and conditioning to use?
Yes, yes.
That's going to vary between individuals because everyone is so far on different ends of the spectrum. Some people need heavy mobility emphasis. Some people need a lot of power work. Some people need foundational strength work. I got one guy that just joined a couple months ago that he has another fight coming up and he has a couple in him, but he's never done any strength work. So for him to jump into our strength and conditioning, we've been building for years, would be crazy. So he just does basic strength work to gain a foundation. And then some of my guys are doing very intricate, very detailed, super specific progressions. So that can kind of vary very widely.
Right. No, that definitely makes sense. And, getting back to your amateur debut, obviously I believe this is going to be your first fight. And, what are the nerves like getting ready for a fight like this?
Honestly, I'm more excited than anything. I'm not scared to lose, that's for sure. I've lost in life, so losing a fight means nothing to me. But like having the lights and the sounds, I think, are the most nerve-wracking because I do have very severe ADHD. So I did one sparring practice a couple weeks ago with all the sounds, and it kind of tripped me up. So I think that's my biggest worry. But like fighting, I love fighting. That is not the struggle for me. I'm ready. If I could fight tomorrow, I'd fight tomorrow.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, Clayre, obviously, you're a strength and conditioning coach. You're getting ready for that amateur debut. But besides all that, what are maybe some other things that you like to do outside of the cage?
I really only train, work out, and I read books. I like to learn new stuff. I would say kayak, but I only go like once or twice a year. And I go to yoga every so often to one of the girls out here. She has a place called Zindan. It's the best yoga studio ever. But other than that, I don't think I do anything else. It's quite sad.
It's all good. It's all good, And you mentioned yoga. I was actually training in New York with another martial arts instructor, and he was mentioning to me like yoga is really important for your body and that kind of deal. How do you think yoga maybe helps you?
Well, I absolutely love yoga, but I don't do it regularly. But I do recommend it for people that need to gain those ranges of motion, and just like to feel their body, to like know what each joint feels like, to just like sit in it and be able to balance and stabilize yourself. I don't think it's a method to use regularly, especially in a fight camp, because there should be a lot of other components in it. But to use out of camp and to just force them to do mobility work, because a lot of guys won't do it, it's a great tool to use.
Yeah.
A lot of guys will skip every bit of recovery when it comes to like manual stuff. They'll sit in the hot tub all day, but to sit there and stretch, no.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. With your amateur debut coming up, obviously, you mentioned like Tim is one of the guys you talked to as well. What is maybe some of the best advice you might have got getting ready for your fight?
I don't. That I'm gonna be on. Tim has been telling me this since day one. I might as well get comfortable being uncomfortable because it's never gonna stop. And that's the only thing I play in my head, and it works well for me.
Right. No, that definitely makes sense. That was actually something that he mentioned to me as well too on his interview. That's an important quote that every fighter kind of needs to kind of have that down. Something else I would like to ask too. What are maybe some of the best training partners you've had in the gym for getting ready for your fight?
Oh man, I have a whole bunch of them. Recently I've had my girl Sarah Davila I think she's from like Baton Rouge, New Orleans area. She's been coming out to train with me. I'm super blessed because she just drives like almost 2 hours to come train with me. I love it. Drake Pellegrin, we train every Tuesday morning, Thursday morning we drill. He's a great friend and a great training partner. He knows how to kind of push it when you need to, even when you don't want it, and he knows how to pull back even if you don't want to. He manages to pull me back even when I don't want to. He can kind of see that in me. It's like, I know you want it as bad as we do, but right now you need to take a step back. You're killing yourself. And those are my main two training partners right now. Me and Carly train a whole bunch, but right now she's in fight camp, so she's been traveling a lot. But yeah, those are my three main training partners right now. I just went up to Shreveport to train with Andrea Lee and Victoria Fury. I don't know her last name. Oh, Mason, Victoria Mason. And that was a fun time. Got to train with two high-level girls, so that was fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, for someone obviously that might not have seen your fights because it's your debut, what should we maybe expect to kind of see out there?
I like to scrap. I do. I like to scrap. That's just about it. I'm grimy and at least I hope I'm going to be. I've been kickboxing before, and I throw a lot of punches. I have a taekwondo background when I was a kid, about 4 or 5 years. So I have some pretty clean kicks when I decide to throw them.
Okay, I'm also a Taekwondo instructor myself. So with that being said, how do you think Taekwondo maybe has helped you kind of grow as a fighter?
You know, in the beginning, I didn't think it played any role. Honestly, the punching aspect of Taekwondo is very like touch and go too. So it didn't help me in that regard. But as I developed my striking into more of like a kickboxer style, and made it kind of fit MMA and how I should move and shift around like that. Now that I have that down, my kicks have transferred over. But I think in the beginning, initially for the first 2 or 3 years of striking, it won't play that big of a role. But once you start feeling confident and loading your hips and moving and shifting, it all starts coming back full circle. And for a while, my kicks were shit. And now they're just flying left and right. And I'm pairing them together and I'm doing it off the shifting. So I would say give it some time and it'll transfer.
Nice, nice. Now, what do you think is maybe the hardest part of your training camp so far?
Showing up when I don't fucking want to. That's probably the hardest part. Not eating. I actually had gotten a car accident and I gained 35 pounds. So before that, I had got down to like 140 and I'd always be there, but I gained a lot of weight. So I got this short notice. So I had to lose. I've lost like 10 pounds in the past 6 weeks. And I'm already really fit. So that was kind of hard. I'm very hungry for a while. Very, very hungry. So that was kind of probably the hardest part, honestly, being hungry, still showing up to train.
I gotcha. That makes sense. How hard was it to even find a fight as well, too?
Well, actually, my friend and one of my training partners, Candace, she had this matchup already, and she had texted me and asked me if she could take it, and I was like, oh, I was excited, like, yeah. So whenever she had to pull out for some health reasons, I love her to death. I was like, I'm sad for you, but I'm happy for myself. It kind of felt like a catch-22, but I mean, that's how that came to be. She ended up with the fight first.
Nice, nice. That definitely makes sense. And, there's one question I always like to ask every fighter I bring on the show. I'm a Taekwondo instructor, like I just mentioned. I've been training for 20 years, teaching for 6 years. I just kind of love what I do. And with that being said, what advice would you kind of give to all my students to keep coming into the gym and to keep on getting better and better every single day?
That's just part of it. Just being consistent, showing up when you don't want to. Find you some friends. Like, don't be isolated. Don't be antisocial. I know a lot of times, especially from our women, it's hard to get in there and make friends because there's so many guys. And sometimes it can feel like some of them just kind of want something from you. Find those people that don't want anything from you. They're just nice and kind just because that's how they are. And then just keep showing up and keep talking to those people. And then before you know it, you're a year or two in and then you can't stop.
Right, right. Now, when it comes to the mental aspect of fighting, do you think it's maybe harder for maybe some of the men fighters, or do you think it's maybe harder for the women fighters, or do you think it kind of doesn't matter?
I would say, now, of course, I'm a woman, and I used to truly believe that being a woman made no difference, but as I kind of gotten a little bit older, I just turned 25, so I'm not old, but I guess I'm kind of started to take into account, like, my cycle, how that plays a role into, like, how I'm feeling, how my body's checking in. And I guess as I've gotten a little older, I've noticed it plays a lot bigger role. I used to think that sometimes I'm just being a bitch or I'm just being lazy, but really sometimes like your body just ain't ready for it. And so learning how to change my intensity levels and maybe still show up, but be okay with saying, this is my big thing. So women are watching, never be afraid to say, hey, this is just not my couple of days. I need to dial back my intensity. Because I feel like the biggest hurdle for women to get into MMA is that they feel like they have to do the same level as men all the time, when sometimes it just literally is physically impossible. 2 weeks ago for my Saturday morning practice, I started my cycle and I had gained like 6 pounds of fluid and my hip was going numb. I couldn't feel my leg. And so like I didn't stop and I should have, but it was kind of like if there were more women, I'd probably felt more comfortable, but it's just one of those things I got to just say something and just get over it.
That makes sense. That's interesting. Now, with that being said, too, you have one of like the best fighting last names. Do you happen to have a nickname when it comes to fighting yet, or no?
No, because it's my first fight, but also I'm about to get married sometime this year or early next year, so I plan to change it. I'm not a fan of my last name. Everyone thinks it's so cute and cool, but it doesn't have the best history for me, so I plan to change it pretty soon.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That definitely makes sense. And Clayre, last message out there for the fans that are going to be watching this video.
I'm just excited and I'm happy that people, I guess, want to watch us be violent. I do think that fighting and being violent is part of our nature, and that if people spend more time kind of developing those skills and learning that they are as easy to get as everyone else is, like, you're not invincible. You need to know that you're easy to break. Someone's always out there that's better than you. I think we'd have a lot less like anger and a lot less aggression in the world from people, and people would just be so much more loving. How many people do you know in jiu-jitsu or MMA that are complete just assholes? Not many of them. There are some, of course, there's always the bad eggs, but for the most part, in the martial arts world, people are very kind and very nice.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely agree with you there. And Clayre, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy day, being a coach, getting ready for your fight, and come on the show. It means a lot to me. And yeah, we're looking forward to that debut, and hopefully we can run another one back in the future after your fight.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. I got to go do my strength and conditioning, though, sadly. So I'll have to talk to you later.
All good, all good. Thank you so much, Clayre. It means a lot. And yeah, good luck with your debut.
All right, thanks, man. See you later.
All right, take care.